So March 9th, I did a video that was called Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood Speculation Rock Festival. And I pretty matter-of-factly said that I think that Rock Festival very possibly could be American Horror Story. What season of American Horror Story was beyond me, probably not Coven, because I kind of shut that one down given the fact there was really no connection. But there was a possibility it could be Asylum, Murder House, or Freak Show. Or maybe even a special nod to Hotel because it's coming next. I no longer believe this. I truly believe right now that the three John Murdy code words in Hollywood, post-punk, rock festival, and the Name Game version 2.0 are all coming to Orlando this year. And yeah, American Horror Story is not coming to Hollywood. I don't believe it is any longer. Because I don't think that two properties can coexist, if you know exactly what I mean when I say that. What am I saying? Well, I'm going to say right now that I think Rock Festival is something else. Something that I said it was, possibly, but I wasn't sure, and I glossed over it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to explain why glossing over it was a mistake, and it's something that I know a lot of you out there don't want, but I think that it's probably going to be. Now, let's talk about the specifics for Rock Festival, shall we? Now, this code word is Rock Festival, obviously. Today, large music festivals held all over the world, but that wasn't the case in the 1960s. Now, in the 1960s, there was only a handful of rock and pop festivals with an attendance of over 50,000 people. That's the hint of the code name. The hint that will reveal the theme is either an artist who played at or a song that was performed at a prestigious rock or pop festival in the 1960s. Or the hint could be the location where the festival was held. Alright? Here's the hints. Number one, this artist or song performed was played at or was performed at more than one major rock pop festival in the 1960s. Alright? The state or states where this property takes place is home to all four major sports teams. That means baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. Alright? Number three, what does a character from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and Star Wars have in common? And number four, there is a hint that someone that passed away in 2015 could be considered a hint. Alright? One of these hints may be a red herring, and he led us on our merry way. Alright? It's a 58-page treatment. I'm new to the event, obviously. Page treatments don't really say much to me. And it's not a universal property. So right away you can knock out, this is not Insidious, this is not Sinister, Crimson Peak, The Purge, any connection at all to the Universal Monsters. It's not an American Werewolf in London, and it's not The Thing. It's nothing that it's by Universal. And due to a connection via Twitter, I can tell you right now the song in question is not White Rabbit, it's not Hitchcock Railway, it's not Double Trouble, it's not Voodoo Child, and it's not The Other Side of This Life. Now, this song was played at one or more of the major rock festivals, and John Murdy quickly dismissed Monterey Pop. So it's either played at Woodstock or Altamont, or both. Alright? Now, the only bands that actually performed at both Woodstock and Altamont were Santana, Jefferson Airplane, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. So, it's got to connect that way, right? Well, let me explain how it is. Alright, so the first hint right away, this artist or song, in this case we're going to say artist, performed at more than one major rock pop festival in the 1960s. We're talking, of course, about Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Alright? So, it makes the most sense to me, obviously. Because they performed at both Altamont and Woodstock. Two's the red herring. Why? Because this property is out of the great state of Georgia, and there is no NHL franchise in Georgia. Now, the Atlanta Thrashers went over to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and became the Jets, so that's your red herring. So that immediately connects the Bible and Star Wars to the fact that it is not known for sure who exactly is Judith Grimes' real true father. Luke, I'm your father. Who's the real father of Luke and Leia? That's basically what the connection is. Makes perfect sense. And there's someone that passed away this year that is considered a hint. Well, there's a straight up hint, because the person in question is Dallas Taylor. Dallas Taylor was the drummer for Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and he died in January 18th as a result of kidney disease and viral pneumonia. He was only 66 years old. Alright? Now, let me do some more connecting here. Well, here's the fun thing. The song in question, there's a lot of different directions you can go. This song apparently reveals the theme of the maze. Or it could be another red herring, who knows at this point. Now let's talk about what it could be. There's a song called Down by the River, which was performed at Altamont. It's literally a chapter of the Walking Dead game. And River Street is a location in that game. The connection to Savannah, Georgia being the second largest city in Georgia and where rumored The Walking Dead is going to be heading to very soon. Even though right now they're in Alexandria, but we'll talk about that in a minute. There's a song Long Time Gone, which makes sense to me because it was performed at both concerts, and they've been walking for over 500 days, so it's been a long time since they've been gone, so it makes sense to me. There's Black Queen, which could be a literal connection to Michonne, being like a samurai queen. I read that somewhere. That makes sense to me. That was performed at Altamont. There's Blackbird, but Blackbird is kind of a roundabout way to get to Lita Wise's Blackbird song, which was performed in Season 4. Now, the big connection is Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, and that's, of course, a direct connection to Sister Judith and Sister Jude, obviously. The Hey Jude connection that was also mentioned on the Horror Night Nightmares boards through Richie Havens. No, this isn't this. And in order for that to be the case, this maze would have something to do with Sister Judith being a focal point. Don't think that's going to happen. So, that's not going to be the answer. What I'm saying is this. All of these could potentially be correct, but the song I'm going with is Pre-Road Downs. Pre-Road Downs is basically, in essence to me, it's kind of like traveling. It's like you're traveling, and that's exactly what they're doing. Throughout the entire Season 5, don't forget, I don't watch the show, so I'm just basing on Wikipedia and friends. When it comes down to it, they're all trying to get to Alexandria and the safe zone. The road to Alexandria, the pre-road downs to Alexandria. That's what I'm thinking right now. Now, like I said, any of the other ones could be a possibility. But what am I saying? I'm saying, whether you like it or not, I truly believe, as of April 18th, that Rock Festival is the return of The Walking Dead to Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. I know we're getting it. It's pretty much been confirmed. So, it sounds like it's going to happen for Hollywood as well. I don't think one gets it and the other one doesn't. What is a possibility is the X Factor, and that is Fear the Walking Dead. That is the spin-off series that's going to be starting in the summertime. A lot of rumors stating that they may pull from that, and that may be what gets our next generation Walking Dead houses and mazes on this coast. I would state right now that regardless what song you want to use it to connect to, it's a foregone conclusion. Post-punk is Hollywood's return to Insidious, focusing on Chapter 3. We'll get it, but it'll be on a combination of all three movies, and probably some going deeper into the further with some, like, original stuff. Rock Festival is The Walking Dead, and I got an idea for the name game, but I haven't really completely deciphered it yet, but I'm still working on it. So when my next Hollywood video comes out, I will be talking about the name game version 2.0. So I guess you could call this Rock Festival version 2.0, because this is my next guess. So, that's what we've got. Hollywood's event sounds to be interesting this year. It sounds to me like we're not going to share as much as we did last year. I do think that I know 3, and the 3 code names are, I think, what we share. I don't know if there's anything else that we're going to share. If you look at the list that we're getting in Orlando this year, if you believe any of this to be complete truth, that's not just a work, I don't think Scream's coming to Hollywood. John Murdy basically said after the Terror Tram he's not going to do it. And I'm not exactly sure Werewolf would come back. It might. It's possible. But then again, the location for Werewolf, I don't know if they would use that for something else. I mean, it is the Jurassic Park overflow queue. So, who knows if they do that. And the 3 that I mentioned, those IPs, the rest of the stuff we've got's original. So, yeah, you're going to get a pretty different event if you're on the West Coast than if you're on here on the East Coast. So, something to look forward to. There's a lot of rumors that Bill and Ted are going to return this year to Hollywood, and signs are pointing to no, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have any information about Hollywood. Hollywood does not have as much information out as we do in Orlando, so hopefully, if someone out there is watching this video, please start giving us some information in Hollywood. I totally would appreciate it. Even though it's really fun to try to break these John Murdy clues, which I did very successfully last year, and I'm trying to do so just the same this year. So that being said, if you want all the information from the words of John Murdy himself, you can go ahead and follow Horror Nights Hollywood at Horror Nights on Twitter. You can also go to some really awesome Halloween Horror Nights forums at Horror Night Nightmares and UASH forums of the Inside Universal website. You can check out some great HHN Related Sites like HHNCrypt.com and DesigningFear.com. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. You can friend request me at Owen Disney. You can go ahead and like our Facebook fan page, Sir Owen Disney Pop. And if you'd like to feel inclined to check out some of the other updaters talking about Hollywood, my good friends at the Horror Nights Updaters, they'll take care of you. Psychomassacre Films, Dr. Emmett Brown 1, UKHHN, The Red Steel TV, Deadly Fear 1283, as well as Mr. Horror Nights, Admiral HHN, HHN Fan 16, Thrill Seeker Network, Crazy Englishman, First Class Horror, and Horror Squad TV. So that being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Hollywood fans, join me for Name Game coming up probably sometime this week. We'll see how that works out. And quick programming note for Pop, for later today you're going to get Gaming with Ash. Tomorrow, brand new Versus. Monday, NXT. Tuesday, Ashley and I Talk Raw. Wednesday is Impact. Thursday, Sip and Snack. Friday, AJ's Movie Reviews. Saturday, Gaming with Ash. And Sunday, of course, Versus. So thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.